Welcome to the Six Figure Influencer podcast. I am so happy you're here. Today is going to be a juicy conversation around sales, specifically how I sell and sign all of my clients in the DMs with ease, and how this process, how I've gotten it down so that this happens so much faster than it used to. So in this episode, I am going to break down my exact sales process and exactly the actions that I take and my whole mindset and energy around it. So this is going to be super actionable for you and hopefully enlightening for a lot of you as well. Lately, I'm very thankful for this. I have been making fast sales. And when I say fast sales, I've been getting more women come out of the woodwork and they're just ready to go, right? They're like, hey, I need support. I love what you put out. What do you have available? And I send them what's available, and they're not sitting there thinking about it. They're not spending days asking a ton of questions, but which, by the way, like, ask your questions. I want you to be super clear when making a decision, but they're not like taking tons and tons of time to ask all these questions. They're not requesting discovery calls for the most part. They're just like, cool, I want this option and I'm ready to go. And they sign, and it's so easy. And I am just like soaking it all in. I am so thankful. And trust me, if you're hearing that, you're like, okay, must be nice. Well, it used to not be that way. And I know it's because I've refined my process and I've refined my energy. And there is also something to be said, actually a lot to be said, for this is how I make moves in my own business. When I want to work with a coach, when I want to hire somebody, when I want to work with anybody in general, I, of course, do my due diligence to get the information and understand what's available to me, obviously, but then I move if it's the right time. Now, there have been times that I can look back not that long ago. I mean, probably a year ago, and I was just having this conversation with a client, and we're going to talk about this conversation too in just a second, but I was just having a conversation where I was like, no, there have been times where I've reached out to mentors and I've inquired about their offers, and it wasn't the right fit and I didn't get back to them. I just kind of was like, thanks, and or I'll think about it, and then I never got back to them and kind of left them hanging. And being on the other end of that, I know what that feels like. And I know that, like, just close the loop. Again, we'll talk about that. But yeah, now I'm much more aware because I'm also on the other side. And I'm very clear if I reach out to somebody, hey, give me that information. Okay, cool. It's a great fit. Let's go. And I move. Or actually, it's not that great of a fit. Maybe the next time. Or, thank you for the information. And I do it quickly. So this is the energy I'm putting out, and I'm noticing that it is coming back to me, which is huge. And there's also something to be said too, that this is a culmination of a lot of different things. And I'm going to give you the whole process, exactly what I do. But of course, it matters how long I've been in the game. Of course, it matters that I have a podcast that's remotely popular and I have credibility, right? Like, you can go, you see, I'm a real person. I'm not going to scam you. I've ran dozens and dozens of programs. I've now worked with hundreds of women. I have testimonials out the yin yang. So that helps. All of these things help. And I know that helps women make more confident decisions faster. So I don't want you to hear this and you to get this process and put it into action. And if you're not seeing the same results that I am, make it mean anything bad about you. I would also take into consideration, how long have you been doing this? What's your credibility like? Because it's a culmination. All of these things add up in your favor. So if you do these things, take it, long game strategy, long game mindset, always give yourself some grace, because over time, you're going to get better. You're going to build more trust, more credibility, all of these things that help people make faster buying decisions that impacts your business. All right. I knew that it was time for this conversation because a few different things have been popping up around this. Like I said, I got a DM not too long ago. Ooh, I'm going to pull it up and I'll read it to you. But I got a DM from one of my current clients, and she sent me this message. Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay, so this is what it says. She said, "Can I just tell you, thank you so much for being you. What I mean by that is when I reached out and asked for information about your programs or any offers, you did not message or hound me about it. And I appreciate that so much. I have 2 people now in my DMs that had some offers a couple months back that I was semi interested in and decided that it wasn't the right timing. I'm getting completely turned off because they continue to reach out to me every 2 weeks or so when I told them that I would reach back out to them when I felt like the time is right. Now I understand the follow up. I'm all about aligned follow up. But I'm also like, do you not see? I'm not flaky. I promise I'll get back to you." And so on. She said, long story short, this messaging me over and over ain't it. It's a turnoff. So I got that and I was like, wow, that's a good point. And that's absolutely, like, I have the opposite strategy and mindset when it comes to selling. So that happened. And then also I was on a discovery call 2 days ago, 3 days ago, which I don't do many of, but I got on this call because this particular person was interested in working long term. So I'm happy to get on a call for that. And we were chatting and she kind of looked at me funny and she was like, "Okay, so well, yeah, during the conversation, we were wrapping up and I said, "Okay, cool. So I'll send you my one-on-one packages and you just let me know if one's right for you and we'll go from there." And she looked at me funny and she was like, "Okay, is there like a specific time frame that I need to get back to you, like within 24 or 48 hours?" And I was like, "No." And she said, but are you not going to like get a yes on the call? Like, are you not going to get me to say yes or agree on the call?" I was like, "No." Why would I do that? And she said, I'm so curious. Like, I'm kind of intrigued because every sales call I've been on, there's always this time constraint. We're like, "Okay, well, if you want this, you have to sign up by this or this happens." Or, "So are you ready to go? Do you agree that you want this? And is that a yes? Can I get a confirmation?" And again, that's not how I do things. And what I told her, and of course, this is part of my process, but what I told her is like, there are some offers where there is a time constraint. There are some offers where I genuinely do have X amount of spots. And in that case, I'll say, "Hey, take your time, but just so you know, there are X spots left. So it's first come, first serve." Or, "Take your time, but just so you know, the cart closes for this. The last day to join is this." I said, "But if there's no like legit time constraint, I'm not going to pressure anybody to work with me, especially in a one-on-one capacity. Because guess what? I don't want to work with anybody that closely that isn't sure they want to be there, that isn't completely sold on me, that signed up because they felt pressure." And this is something that I've cultivated over time. This is something that, because I've worked with so many women, I appreciate this more. And I'm sure, I am sure there have been times in the past, just a couple of years ago, where I'm sure I did pressure somebody. And if that's the case, I apologize, like inadvertently. But now, absolutely not. Like, you're a grown woman. I'm going to give you all of the information. I'm going to answer all of your questions. And then I want this to be a full body hell yes for you. No pressure as part of that. So these two things, the DM and the discovery call, was like, okay, it's time to have this conversation. This is important because I know a lot of you, whether you're also a mentor or, some sort of service provider, or even if you're in direct sales, this process can also, like so many of these things, if not all of them, can be totally applied to your sales strategy. And this may not be for everybody, but I'm telling you, it works. It works really freaking well. And before I get to the process, I wanted to reiterate, and something that I told my client who DM'd me, who sent the DM that was like, this person's so pushy. And what I told her, I said, yeah, that's a turnoff, but put yourself in their position. Like, clearly you left open some possibility that you might want to work together. So close the loop for them. If you know that offer is not for you, just kindly and politely say, hey, thank you so much for following up, but it's a no for me, dog. Like, it's just, it's not the right time. I will reach out to you when it's the right time. And she was like, yeah, I'm not sure if I was that direct. So that was my only point to her. So anyway, before I get into my process, it's important to understand too that not every client books with me. Not every person that reaches out via DM signs. Okay. I don't know how many people reach out on a weekly basis. I would say probably around 5 new people, give or take, depending on what's going on. I'll get 5 inquiries from new people who are like, hey, I just found you, or I've been following you for a while. What does it look like to work together? And like I said, lately, more of these, like a higher percentage, have been moving forward and signing, which is fantastic. And a lot of them don't. I get a lot of inquiries, a lot. And I've gotten so many over the past few months, obviously over the course of my career, where people reach out, they seem excited. It seems like it's a yes. I'll tell Chris like at night, like, oh, yeah, I think I'm about to sign a new private client. And then I never hear from them again, or it's not a good fit for them. So yes, this process is working and it's working better now, but I just want to be clear. This is not, I don't care how popular you are, how established you are. This is the case for every single coach, mentor, service provider, everybody. They're always going to have people that ghost you, or that you think are a good fit, that you think are going to move forward, that say they're going to move forward and don't. So you probably already know that, but I just wanted to reiterate, some clients book, some clients don't, and that is okay. So here is my process. And again, I close all deals in the DMs, all of them. If somebody wants to work together one-on-one, that is the only time that I do discovery calls. If somebody wants to work with me, because it's long-term and it is private and it is a higher investment. Otherwise, I don't offer discovery calls. I talk to you however you want me to talk. We can DM back and forth, voice note back and forth. I'll email you, but that's just my process. And I do not chase, I attract. So I do not reach out to anybody pitching my offers. I let them come to me. And that has always been my strategy. The only exceptions that I have ever made to this is if maybe I had a conversation with somebody recently and they were inquiring about something that was maybe coming up, and I was just letting them know, hey, this thing is available, or hey, this thing's available, and I know you were looking for support on this specific thing, and I can support you with this program. And very, very rarely do I do that because I can't remember who to reach out to. So I don't have like a system or a process for that. And also another exception, I had this conversation with this woman back in December. She reached out to me and she was like, "Hey, love what you do. I think I think I need support. I'm ready to create my offers. I'm ready to like take this next level. I've already had success, yada yada." And like talk to me about what it would look like to work with you. So I sent her information. She said, "Okay, I have so much going on soon. So now's not the right time, but probably in the future you're gonna hear back from me." I was like, "Cool, perfect." And months go by, and she and I are in similar programs together, like other programs. So like we're part of this big Facebook group together. And I saw her make a post in there inquiring about she was looking for a coach. And she said, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm looking for a coach. This is what I'm looking to do. Who has an offer that makes sense for me?" Because this whole group was full of mentors and business coaches essentially. And I saw that post and I was like, "I can help you with that." Right? And I just had this gut instinct. I've been following this woman myself for the past few months. I love what she puts out. She's just like a whole vibe, and I want her to create her own stuff. Like I want her to put courses and things out into the world because it would bring so much value. So like genuinely I believe in what she's doing. And I was like, "Dude, I'm that mentor. That's me." And I've never, ever done this before in my entire life, but I DM'd her myself. And I was like, "Hey, I've never done this before, legit, but I just saw your post and I just want you to know, like, go interview 100 different coaches. That's fine. But I'm just letting you know, I am fully confident that I can support you in your mission and getting your message and your magic out into the world. Like, done. So I may not be that person for you. There may be somebody else that you feel more energetically aligned to, which is perfect. But I just had to let you know that I'm open to chat more if you want to." And she was like, "Hey, yeah, I absolutely want to talk to you. Let's get on a call. I am going to essentially interview other mentors," which I loved that she did that. And we got on a call and we talked about what it would look like to work together. She was like, "Okay, I have a couple of more of these calls with other mentors. I'll let you know by Friday." And on Friday, she reached out to me and we signed that day. And now she's my private client. So that's like the only time that I've ever done that. And I think it's important that I share that because most of the time I let people come to me, but I think every once in a while you get that gut, or at least, I mean, this is the first time that's ever happened for me where I was like, "No, I'm meant to support you. I know that." Maybe you don't feel the same way, but for whatever reason I am. So I'm going to shoot my shot. And it worked out and I'm really thankful. So I don't chase, I attract. I let women see my content, right? Like my content is the funnel. That's how they see me, whether it be the podcast or my stories or what I put out into the world or, trainings that I do in other groups. They follow me and I talk about my offers whenever I do, which lets them know that I put these things out into the world and then I wait for them to come to me and they do. Now, at the same time, I have an offer suite. And what that means is I have a set of offers ready to go always. I have low ticket offers like freebies and a couple of courses and 100 days of killer content, like $33, super 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 low ticket. I have a mastermind that's mid ticket, mid-level support, and then I have my private coaching. And every once in a while I launch things that fall in between those offers. So I have things ready to go. And I have notes in my phone so that when somebody does reach out to me, I can send them that information, right? Like I'm not like, "Oh, let me see what I can put together," or, "Oh, yeah," like I think the reason why this process is working so well is because I get back to people really fast with opportunities, with invitations, and then they can decide. Because I think, and I've experienced this too, where you have these moments where you're feeling really good and you believe in what you're doing. You're like, okay, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to bring on support. And you take inspired action. You reach out to that mentor, you reach out to the person. And then your mind kind of goes to work talking about, well, like, the worst case scenarios. What if this goes wrong? And what if this happens? And, and the more aware you are about how that works, you get better at managing that. But a lot of people don't realize that. So if I were to leave somebody in my DMs for days or even a day, then I run the risk of them growing cold or getting cold feet and not feeling inspired to take that action, right? So what I do is I have my offers, and then I have a note. I keep a note in my phone of current offers. So anytime somebody reaches out and they're looking for support, what I do is I respond to them with a voice note if I can. I say, "Hey, thank you so much for the message. Talk to me a little bit about your business." If they haven't sent information on their business, talk to me about your business. What are your goals? And where are you struggling? What are you looking for support with a mentor? In a perfect world, what does a mentor help you do in your business? And they'll get back to me with information. And I say, cool. It sounds like we're a good fit to work together. Or I've 100% told people that I'm not the person for them and I'll refer them to somebody else. I do that plenty of times. And then I say, cool. Yeah, it seems like we're a good fit. I'm going to drop a couple of options for you that I think would serve you really well. Take a look and get back to me whenever you have a chance. And my goal here is to keep it as short and easy as possible. I can't control how much they send me, but I can control how much I send them. And this is probably the biggest area that I've refined in my sales process, because definitely in the past, I would get so excited that somebody reached out to me and I'd just be like, blah, 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 just like all of the information, just like every detail under the sun, because I was so excited and probably overwhelmed. So my goal here is to be sincere, show them that like I'm a real person. I'm so thankful you reached out. I actually want to qualify both of us. Like, are you a good fit for me? And am I a good fit for you? Like, I'm not just trying to get the sale here, right? I'm not just trying to be like, hey, thanks for the message. Here are my coaching options. Because unless they send me the information, I don't know if they're a good fit. And again, I don't want people in my programs that aren't. That's going to be more of a headache for me. So so I respond with my voice, ask them a few qualifying questions, wait for them to get back to me, respond with, yes, we're a good fit. Awesome. Here are some details. Take your time. Let me know if you have any questions. So obviously, if you're a service provider, you can basically use that exact method. If you sell a product, I think you can do this too. Unless, like, if somebody reaches out to you, because I think if you sell a product, this can be simplified even more. If somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, send me details on blah, 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 then send them details on blah, 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 right? Like, hey, happy to do that. Let me know if you have any questions. Here you go. If somebody reaches out to you and they say, hey, I'm having this issue. Is your product something that can support me? Short, sweet, to the point. Yes, no, or hey, can you send me a little bit more information? Are you experiencing this? Is this, whatever? Then yes, I feel like this is a good fit. Or no, this probably isn't a good fit, but this might be, or I would try this if you know of something else. And I know that it feels weird to potentially send somebody else to a competitor or a friend. But that right there is going to create so much trust in them. Like, imagine how thankful you would be if you were inquiring about a product or a service, and no matter how expensive that thing is, and the person was like, hey, this isn't going to help you. This isn't what you need, but I bet this will, or you might want to check over here. They're just saving you time and money. So like for me, if anybody ever did that for me, I would automatically trust them and I would want to follow them, and like anything else that they have, I would trust, and I would probably move a lot faster. So acting out of integrity, always a good idea. Okay. Now, in the meantime, as I'm doing these things, it's important to say too, again, I'm showing up regularly. I'm in my stories almost every day. I show my face often. I show up every single week like clockwork in my podcast. I make semi-regular posts, right? Like you see me. I'm giving value as much as I can. So this supports me in a couple of different ways. It helps people, again, see that like I'm a real person. I'm not a scam artist. This is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. This isn't just like a random thing that I try and make money from. This is my life. And also, if somebody's following me, and the more that they see me, the more that like I'm popping into their awareness, so that if they do need support or if they are interested in something, they're constantly being reminded every time they see me. So finally, when it will be the right time for them to reach out, they'll see a story and be like, oh yeah, I wanted to DM Allie about whatever. All right. So when somebody reaches out, I already told you how I respond. If it makes sense, I paste them the information. Now, what I've done with that is I take my offer and I don't paste the whole sales page, obviously. I paste like, here's the offer, maybe like a sentence or two that sums up what it is, and then what they get if they invest, right? So like if you're wanting to work one-on-one, I'm like, you get weekly calls with me, you get Voxer access, you get access to all my programs, a podcast interview, and I'll put all that. And I will share what the investment is. I do put the price. It's going to run you this a month or pay in full, because again, I'm not trying to waste my time or your time. Like, do you want it or not? And I paste it and I say, hey, let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer them all for you. Take your time. So I invite them to learn more. I invite them to ask more questions. I am inviting them to move if it feels right for them, but there is no pressure. And the only time that I will pressure in any way, if you want to look at it this way, is if, again, it's like it's some sort of launch and there is a firm cart date close or X amount of spots. Then in that case, I'll say, hey, take your time, but here's what you need to know about like how long this will be available. Now, let's talk follow-up strategy. So I love how my client worded this, the aligned follow-up. I follow up when it makes sense, when it feels aligned. So for me, it feels aligned to follow up with somebody if there is some sort of time restraint or X amount of spots. If they say, hey, thank you so much for this information, I'm going to look into it, and I don't hear back from them, and a cart is closing tomorrow or today, or there's one spot left, then in that case, I might reach out and say, just so you know, this is happening. But again, take your time, no pressure. I just wanted to give you a heads up as a courtesy. If anybody reaches out to work one-on-one and I send them the information and they say, cool, thanks, I'll look over it. Or if I never hear from them or whatever, I don't follow up, because you're a big girl. You're an adult. If it made sense for you, if you actually wanted it, and if you were ready to do the work, you would have reached out to me. right? There's never been a time that I have reached out to a coach or anybody that I was interested in working with in any modality or capacity where I got the information and I wanted it and then I forgot and I just didn't book. That to me that doesn't happen, because like if you're ready and you're excited. And that's how I want the women coming into my world that are working with me. That's how I want them to be. So one-on-one clients, mastermind people where, that the thing's going to be open, period, and you can come in at any time. I personally do not follow up. This is going to be different. This might be different for your business. This is going to be different for probably everybody's business. So if it feels good for you to have a follow-up strategy, what I recommend doing is obviously keeping it very timely and doing it one time. I'm sure people teach doing it more than once, and it's all about what feels right for you. Okay, so if following up more than once feels right in your soul and it works for you, then by all means, do you. But in my personal opinion, I think following up once, hey, did you have any questions about that? Is this something that you're still interested in? Cool. See you later. Or, if they don't respond, then there's your answer. Now let's talk about the invisible factors of my sales process, the things that you cannot see that I do, but that have such an impact. And I know this in my heart and soul, and I've seen this in real time. So what that is my energy around my whole sales process, and also how I feel about the whole process. I mean, that's pretty much the same thing, your energy and how you feel. But anyway, so my energy when it comes to selling always, or like my goal, I'm not saying I nail this every time, but my goal is a light energy, a light grip, right? Do I want the sale? Of course I want the sale if it makes sense. But is it going to make or break me? No. Is it something I'm going to freak out about and stress about? I'm going to try not to. Right? So my energy is truly what's meant to be will be. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to respond to you. I'm going to be gracious. I'm going to give you all the information that you need. I'm going to keep it simple. And I'm going to invite you to move forward if it's a right move, if it makes sense for both of us. And then after that, I've done my job. After that, it's like wipe the hands, lean back. What's going to happen is going to happen. And I've seen this so many times that now I can trust it. Because before it's like, but I want it. And you have this like tight grip and you want it so bad, especially in the beginning, because like we need the sale. We need that sale. We need to move the needle. And it's hard not to feel that way. And if you feel that way, give yourself some grace, because that just speaks to how driven you are and how bad you want this. But the issue with that is you're more likely to do more of these desperate actions, like following up too much or giving too much information or being a little too eager. Or, like people can pick up on that. And if people can pick up in some way that something's off, that like, she wants this a little too much. I feel like this is all riding on me. I'm feeling pressure. You don't want people to make a move from that place. Right. And oftentimes they're not going to. They're gonna be like, I don't know what it is, but something feels off. So for me, the more that I've been able to maintain this light energy of what's meant to be will be, I've done my part, things have worked a lot faster. And I see. And again, like the people that haven't moved forward, I have total peace, because for whatever reason, we were not a good fit. And you don't want people in your world that are not a good fit. I don't care how big the sale is. That is soul sucking. That is, it could be reputation hurting. There's so many negatives to that past the positive of a quick sale, that you don't want to mess with when building a brand and business online and when trying to manage your energy and grow a business. It's just not worth it. So just trust me on that. And then the second invisible piece to this is, I've gotten so much better about this, is like, I take the time to celebrate or feel gratitude for the sales. So what this means is like yesterday, I got two random $33 sales that because I shared, where did I just share that? Was it the podcast? I don't know. Maybe in my stories. I can't remember. I don't know. I shared like I sent out an e-blast and I added at the end, here are ways to work together, so people could actually like see what was available. And I got like two random $33 sales. And all I do is, whenever I see them pop up on my phone, instead of doing what I used to do, which was like, only $33, boo. Why didn't they buy something bigger? Not because I was genuinely upset about the sales, but because like I was desperate for more sales. So my energy was like, that's not enough. Now I see that, I'm like, oh, awesome. And I actually feel like, hey, money's flowing in. Heck yeah. We love that. And then it was followed by like 2 days ago, a random 8K. We had somebody come in as a private client and somebody sign up. No, 2 women back to back signed up in the mastermind. One paid in full, one paid the monthly. Just like that. Both flowed into my world. First conversation I had. Oh, awesome. Based on what you sent, you'd be perfect for the mastermind. Here's the information. Signed, done, in. And again, like the same amount of gratitude that I had for that $33 sale, I had for the $3,000 sale or the $6,000 sale. I was like, awesome. Look at this. Look what's happening. And I'm paying attention. I'm celebrating. Like, these sales are happening faster. More women are flowing into my world and finding me faster and taking action. These things are paying off. So your sales may not look like $3,000 or $6,000 yet, but I guarantee you have a few $33 ones. You have something coming in. So check your energy around that. Are you taking the time to like feel the little butterflies of gratitude? That's what it feels like for me. Like whenever I feel grateful about something, it feels like a little rush of butterflies in my stomach and my chest. Like, yay, that's exciting. You don't have to do it for minutes and minutes on end, but just like taking a little moment. And if it's something big, taking a bigger moment, celebrating with a glass of champagne or a date night or a spa day or just like a nice luxurious walk or whatever that looks like for you, like taking the time to celebrate, like things are moving, things are working. And can it get better? Always. And will it get better? Absolutely. But for now, I am so thankful for where I am because it's making me better and it's setting me up for what's to come. So that's it, people. That's exactly what I do to the T. I can have all my clients attest. This is exactly how they signed up with me and exactly what I did. Some book, some don't, and it's perfect. So I hope this served you. If it did, it would mean the world to me if you shared this episode, even if you just sent it to one person, or if you took a screenshot and shared it out to your people on Instagram or wherever you show up. It would mean the world if you dropped me a review. All of these things help get this info out and help more women, which is my goal. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you here next week.